Muhammad coming to do his wedding. Muhammad's wedding. I can just imagine Muhammad's wedding. Going to marry Aisha. Aisha. Kumamu Tofi. The toffee of my heart. Oh, Aisha. No. You are welcome to this lesson. I sent some questions on Facebook about a week ago, and I asked Muslims to try and deny it. The questions were 31 questions. I had more than 300. It were 31 questions about Muhammad. I've brought. They said the Muslims said I don't have any evidence or sources for what I say on Facebook, and I'm lying. So I told them that I'm going to take them one by one and bring the source, that is the Quranic or the sources from the hadith. I've done the first two. I'm on the third one. The first one was, did Muhammad have sex with Aisha when he was 54 years and Aisha was just 9 years? The second one, which I sent yesterday, is titled, Who is the Yellow Man of Islam? Who is the Yellow Man of Islam? Before I come to the third part, I want to know this. Muslims are not against your Muhammad, your prophet. But pardon me if some things I write on Facebook or in my video seems like insults. That is not my mind. I don't mean to insult Muhammad. Why should I insult Muhammad? And I'm sorry if that is how you see it. No, that is not where my heart is. My aim is, listen, you Muslims believe that we Christians are saved, are lost and going to hell. So we believe you are. So you try to prove to us that's why we are lost. So I'm also, by my videos and my posts in Facebook, I want to prove to you that you Muslims are lost, just like you think we are lost. I hope you understand. If the Bible says that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes unto the Father except through him, then you are lost. Unless Jesus is a liar. But even according to your Quran, Jesus is not a liar, because he's somebody who is sinless, even according to your Quran. So Jesus Christ is sinless even according to your Quran. Why don't you go along with me and remove from your mind that I'm against Islam? Why should I be against Islam? I have many Muslim friends. I have Muslims even in my family. I want you to know that I love you people and I'm not against you. And I want you to know that I will not pamper you with falsehood and lies, but I will love you with the truth. And like medicine, truth is very, very bitter. You see, every sick person, when he goes to hospital and give him medicine, he refuses to take. Because the person like me, as somebody who don't like medicine, when you give medicine to me, I'm not able to take all. Because my system is something that I like. Nice sweet things. And even those who don't like who don't eat sweet things, medicine is bitter. Medicine is normally bitter. And so is truth. Truth is bitter because through the years from our childhood, from a child as a Muslim, you have been told many falsehood. So when the truth, even from your Quran and Hadith, when you quote your Quran and your Hadith, you think is bitter and you think it's falsehood and you don't want to accept it because you rebel against it because you have been told many things from Makaranta in your mosques and so on. So when you even give the truth, we quote your Hadith, we quote your Quran, it's like medicine to you. Is bitter and you hate it. But please, your soul, we all have only one life to live, and when we die there is a judgment. We go to heaven or we go to hell, and the person who can take us to heaven is Jesus Christ. As I remind you, according to your Quran, Allah has promised you Muslims hell's fire. That's what I'm not to do. God bless you. The third topic is on Facebook is titled, apart from Muhammad's 11 wives, did he not have concubines, or what is precisely known as side chicks? It's a long title and it's a very big topic. I cannot finish it all today, so I'm going to divide into about 3 or 4 parts. And this is how I titled the first part. How many wives did Muhammad marry and why? how many wives did he marry and why? First, I want us to ask ourselves, how many wives, maximum limit of wives can a Muslim have? Let us turn to the Quran, Surah 4, Ayah 31. Surah 4, Ayah 31. It reads, if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphans, marry women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with them, then only one, or a captive that your right hand possesses. That will be more suitable to prevent you from doing injustice. So the Muslims were asked to not marry more than 4. They can marry 1 or 2 or 3. If they can be faithful to if they can be faithful more than 1 or 2 wives, they can marry 4. If they can look after the wives, they should marry 1. If they think they will be unfaithful to the 4 wives, then they should not take more than 1 or more than 2. That is the admission. That is what the Quran says. But here comes our friend Mohammed, the prophet of Islam. Let's turn to Surah chapter 33, verse 50 to 51. Surah 33, verse 50 to 51. A time came when Muhammad said Allah have told him he said not to marry more than 4. They realized that Muhammad was even marrying more than the 4. He had 4 and he had 5, 6. So the people started to complain to Muhammad. But prophet of Islam. Why are you not obeying the commands of Allah? The one you said Allah said we should obey. Why do you now have 6, 7 wives? Then Surah chapter 33 verse 50 came. You see, there's something about Muhammad. Anytime he wants to do something that will make him happy, then he brings out a word and he says the word is from Allah. So let's turn to Surah chapter 33 verse 50 to 51. It reads, "O prophet, we have made lawful to thee thy wives, to whom thou hast paid thy dowers, and those whom thy right hand possesses, and out of the captives of war, from whom Allah have assigned to thee, and daughters of thy paternal uncles and aunts, and daughters of thy maternal uncles and aunts, who migrated from Makkah with thee, and any believing woman who gives herself to the prophet, if the prophet wishes to wed her. This only for thee, and not for the believers at large. We know what we have appointed for them, as to their wives and the captives whom their right hand possesses, in order that there should be no difficulty for thee. And Allah is oft-forgiving, most merciful. Thou mayest differ the tenth of any of them that thou pleasest, and thou mayest receive any thou pleasest, and there is no blame on thee if thou invite whom thou hast set aside." So when people started complaining, and then Muhammad said he had a word from Allah, and then this is what Allah said. This is what Muhammad said Allah is saying. He said first, he can have any wife that he wants. If one, those he has paid their dowry. If he has paid their dowry, he can marry them. 2, those his right hand possesses, out of the captives of war. When he goes to war and he's able to get slaves, he can marry some of the slaves. And that is the right hand possesses, captives of war. And then daughters of thy paternal uncles and aunties. 4, he can marry daughters of their maternal uncles and aunties who migrated from Makkah with him. 5, any believing woman who gives herself to the prophet. So when a Muslim comes and said, "Oh Muhammad, I'm dying for you, please marry me." Then Muhammad said, "Oh, yeah. Then we are not going to have wives already." Don't worry. What is your name? What is your father's name? Messenger of Allah. My father is Suleimana. Suleimana of Medina. So Muhammad said, Allah said, he can marry the women who they are believing, women who even come to him. He didn't go to them. He didn't say he wants to marry them. It is there who gave him scholarship. He said, Muhammad can marry women who even give him scholarship. Who even gave him scholarship? He can marry them. And they have appointed all these women for him. Their paternal uncles, cousins, in-laws. He can marry 8 of them. The one his heart desires, he can marry. And those who desire him, I want to look at the message of Allah. You see, popular men, you see how popular men, celebrities, you see how people rush to them. And women will rush. People who are popular, women love them. Do you understand? So you can just imagine, Muhammad goes to war, he kills people, he has plenty of people following him. He has 4 wives. No. So the women were coming. When the women were coming, he was supposed to say that God said I shouldn't, I've got 4 already. God said I shouldn't marry more than 4. Then he himself brought the word and he said, this is what Allah is saying. This is what Allah is saying. Oh, let us take it that is what Allah said. But why should Allah change the laws for Muhammad? We understand as we go on. But you see, Muhammad had a wife called Aisha. The one he married when she was 6 and had sex with her when she was 9. And then after he was 54 years. When you look at all the wives, it seems he loves Aisha than all of them. And when you read the Quranic books, the Islamic books, it's like Aisha was a little more, I think, educated and enlightened and more things than the others. And he was happy than the others. You see, then Muhammad was spending most of his time in Aisha's house than all the other wives. But so Aisha started to be jealous. So it's written in Sunnah An-Nisa 399. This is what Aisha said, not the Quran. The Sunnah, that is the hadith. Sunnah An-Nisa 319. I read. Narrated Aisha. It was narrated that Aisha said, I used to feel jealous of those women who offered themselves in marriage to the Prophet. And I said, will a free woman offer herself? The Allah, the mighty and sublime revealed, you can postpone whom you will of them, and you may receive whom you will. I said, by Allah, I see that your Lord is quick to respond to you, to your wishes. You see, when the women were coming plenty, oh Muhammad, me to marry me son. Oh, me to marry his son. When was saying they were complaining, then Allah said, oh, you know something? You can even postpone some of the weddings. You can, maybe you decide to marry Aisha in July. You know something? Because of the way they are complaining, you marry Aisha in August, September. You can postpone whom you will of them. That's what was written about God. Then Aisha said, hey Muhammad, but for this your Allah is quick to respond to your wishes. Aisha said, hey my Mikru, this is your God. Whatever you want, He gives to you. Especially it's about women. It was you who said that you shouldn't marry more than 4. And now your Allah, your Lord is saying that you should not, for you dear, you should not marry, you can marry more than 20. Even the women come to you and you love them, marry them. Those who you don't marry them and you think you will marry them, postpone it. If it's going to be a clash of weddings, you can postpone it to next year. Jealous Aisha said, oh, my husband, my husband, as for you, when you pray no, then Allah hears you. My husband. Please, I quoted from the hadith. It's a book of the Muslims. I am not saying it. It is from Sunnah An-Nisa 3199. Let's go on. But some Muslims have asked a Muslim this question, and the Muslim said, oh, Muhammad is just an example to them. So that if you are a Muslim, you can marry your paternal uncles, your aunties, their daughters, you can marry your cousins. It's an example to all of them. It's an example. You see, when you marry the widows and so on, you are an example that when somebody hasn't got a wife, the husband is dead. Muhammad was an example, so he was marrying them. But the question is, didn't Muhammad have followers who were bachelors? Didn't some soldiers, were they all married? No. At least some of them even had 2 wives and they were looking for a 3rd one. Why is it that all the women was loving all the women and he was marrying them? have a good example, Muhammad should say, Ali, but here, come, Ali, come. Ali, come here. Ali, ça va? Comment t'appelles-tu? Oh, je m'appelle Ali. Ça va? Très bien, merci. Ali should have, they say, oh, Ali, you know something? You see this girl, Abiba. You see Abiba? Abiba needs a wife. She's my uncle's daughter. So, I, Mohammed, you can go and marry her, so that you can marry your uncle's daughters. That should have been the case. That should have been the case. You should have let somebody else marry, so that you say that you can marry your uncle's daughters, you can marry your auntie's daughters, you can marry your friend's daughters. That should have been the very good example. And Muhammad was marrying all the women, and Muslims are saying this was an example. No, we are for this. We are not. Now, who are the wives of Muhammad? Who are the wives of Muhammad? Muhammad had more than 12 wives. He had more than 10 wives. You see, the wives of Muhammad, the Muslims call them Ummahat Mu'minin. Ummahat Mu'minin. That is mothers of the believers. The wives of Muhammad are so respected, especially Khadija and Aisha. They respect them so much. The first wife of Muhammad was Khadija, who was 45 and married Muhammad. He was a very rich woman, a Catholic. The Catholic connection. Catholic connection. You understand the part Catholic played in the formation of Muslim Islam in another text, later. So he married Khadija, the first wife, who was older than Muhammad. Then second, he married Sauda bin Zam. Then he married Aisha bin Abdul Bakr, and he told Aisha, Anna Habibuka, I love you, Aisha. Aisha, Anna Habibuka, I love you, Aisha. It's too hard to say I love you. The fourth wife was Hafta bin Umar. The Zainab bin Kruzema. The sixth was Hind bin Suhail or Uman Salama. The seventh was Rehana bin Zaid. The eighth was Zainab bin Jash. The ninth was Juwariya bin Al-Harith. The 10th was Safiya bin Huyat bin Akhtab. This one, Muhammad didn't love her to cry. The time came, Muhammad said he would divorce her. This Safiya. And then she said, I beg you, Muhammad, please, I want to stay with you. So, when it is my time for you to come to sleep with me, I've given my time to the woman you love, Aisha. So Aisha had, if he rotates maybe once in a week, Aisha had the opportunity, Safiya's opportunity. So Aisha had it 2 times, maybe 2 times in a week. So the woman was not divorced. He begged so that Muhammad would not divorce him. The 11th one was Ramla bin Abi Sufyan or Habiba. The 12th was Maria al-Qibtiyya. The Maria was a Coptic Christian. One of them forced a marriage. And the last one was Memuna binti al-Harith. Muhammad married, but you know something? You see these 13 wives? Muhammad married them in 20 years. Which means averagely Muhammad had wedding, Islamic wedding, once in every 1.5 years. 1 year, 3 months. Shame Muhammad. And I can just imagine Muhammad, the yellow man. Muhammad coming to his wedding. Muhammad's wedding. I can just imagine Muhammad's wedding. Going to marry Aisha. Aisha. Kumam Tofi. The toffee of my heart. Oh, Aisha. Don't know. The yellow man. You ask me why I'm in yellow. Go and look at the second video. The yellow man of Islam. When Muhammad painted his head yellow, his beard yellow, his dress yellow, his trousers yellow, his sandals yellow, because he said he didn't want to resemble them Christians or the Jews. So you can just imagine Muhammad's wedding. The first man came, oh Mohammed, how are you? So, oh, I'm fine. Ramataka. I'm fine. Today is your wedding, no? Who is the wife? He said, oh, my paternal uncle's daughter. I said, oh, Memuna. Oh yes, Memuna. Zainab. Oh, okay. Oh, Mohammed, happy marriage. How do you say it in Arabic? How do you say happy marriage in Arabic? Can somebody help me? Oh, happy marriage. Congratulations. Don't know. So Muhammad, the yellow man, married 13 wives. My dress fits me. It fits me. Yellow. I have to go and find a yellow shirt. So the yellow man married how many? 13 wives. And these are the reasons given for Muhammad marrying the 13 wives. He said one, he's going to help out the widows of his companions. When they went to war and some of the people died, he decided to marry some of them. 2, he said creating family bonds between him and his companions. If you want to bring the families together, then you marry some of their daughters. Like he marrying Abu Bakr, his wife Aisha, and Umar's wife, the woman's daughter. And he said the third one was spreading the message by uniting different clans through marriage. You see, if you want to spread the message of Islam, you want to spread the message of Islam, So Muhammad will go and look at the other tribes. May have a gang. Then you go and call an Ashanti. Oh, Ashanti, I want us to be fine. The last time we were fighting, so I want us to be fine. So the bond, the covenant for their peaceful covenant, a Muhammad will marry one of their daughters. So that I'm married daughter, so there's no war again. Like I'm saying, why didn't some of the soldiers go and marry? So to spread the message and to unite the clans, Muhammad married some of the wives of the various clans. In fourth, increasing credibility and source of conveying his private family life. You see, Muhammad wants to show that for him he has a very good private life. So the more he marries women, the more the women can spread to their family members that, oh, Muhammad is bonjour, Muhammad is correct. So he was married. That was the first reason. Fourth reason why he was marrying. You can see all this in Wikipedia. And Muhammad married the wives to show that this is how Islam is. This is what Allah is saying. So just like ancient there some days ago in my family, in my country, people marry plenty of wives because of their family. They will marry 1, 2, 3, 4 wives because so that the women will help them in the farm. Muhammad too was marrying the women. Some of the reason was because he says when he married somebody from Kakasunanka, he can maybe they thought he can have peace with them. This is what Muhammad was doing. Couldn't his students have married? Now the last question: how was he able to satisfy all these wives? How was he able to satisfy all these wives? How was he able to satisfy all these wives? Let me wear this one. How was he able to satisfy this wife? Let me wear the coronavirus sister. Those months. Sahih al-Bukhari 268 narrated Qatada. Anas bin Malik said the Prophet used to visit all his wives in one round during the day and night, and they were 11 in number. I asked Anas, had the Prophet the strength for it? Anas replied, we used to say that the Prophet was given the strength of 30 men. 30 men. He said on the authority of Canada that Anas had told him about 9 wives only, not 11. So the Muslims were wondering, but how can the man satisfy all his wives? And he said that's something. The man is able to visit all his wives in one night. He can visit all them in one night. And Muhammad had the strength of 30 men. You as a husband, sometimes you want to go first round, second round, third round, eh? You need the anointing of Muhammad, where you have the strength of 30 men. At least ask Allah to give you the strength of 10 men. 10. Alif bad, that's 10. Ask Allah to give you strength of 10. Muhammad had the strength of 30. So you can satisfy all the wives. In our next topic, we talk about whether he had concubines and sex slaves. The man could satisfy all the wives. It was narrated by Ayah. Ayah said, the messenger of Allah did not die until God permitted him to marry whatever woman he wanted. Sunnah An-Nisa 32:05. You see, Ayah said that Allah did not allow Muhammad to die till he has married all the women that Muhammad likes. Please, Muslims, I am saying, even though you think I'm laughing and so on, please, I am giving you medicine about the man called Muhammad, the one who you have been told is the best creator, the best person God created. I'm talking about his wives, even how he does with his wives, and so on. His sex life, how he married women. There are other things I will talk about. And the Tsunami is saying that he had a strength of 30 men. Now, what happened to Muhammad's widows is for another topic. What happened to Muhammad's widow? It's for another section. And the next topic will be, apart from his wives, did he have concubines? And did he have sex with sex slaves? That's our next topic. God bless you. I'm Dr. Nibucho Chrysolite. I want you to go down, and if you have a question, I can ask the question and I will answer you or create a video out of it. I want you to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the channel, and I have other channel also. Hallelujah Forex. I teach forex trading. You can go there and subscribe to that channel also. And I'm creating another channel, Muslims, missions to Muslims and Jehovah's Witnesses and so on. You can go there and subscribe to that channel also. May God bless you. May God touch you. May God's countenance, may God's glory touch you. May God's grace be your portion. And to you Muslims, I say again, I don't hate you. I don't hate your Muhammad. But the truth needs to be told. Truth is bitter, but that's what can heal you. May God bless you. See you in the next session. Bye-bye.